Whatever your motivation for being a coach, your coaching is a business. As such, it's there at least in part to make money. Yet, just like everybody else in the world, you only have so many hours in the day, so how do you make the most of those hours? There are various options to maximise your business earnings, and they tend to boil down to a question of efficiency. For example, you could look into creating multiple revenue streams, not just coaching clients, but offering courses, selling materials and other resources. Whatever the option, your main focus is not necessarily on getting rich quick or using coaching clients to make a fast buck. As ethical marketers, our focus is on a fair exchange of value with the client in a way that sustains and nourishes you to deliver more of your important work. The question is, how do you do that while being more efficient and maximising your earnings? One way is to look for clients who will pay a higher price for your coaching service. So how do you find these higher paying coaching clients? Let's find out. I'm Simon Batchelor and this is Better, Bolder, Braver. Looking for higher paying clients makes sense. Basic maths tells us that the same income can either come from a lot of people paying a small amount or a small amount paying a lot. The former can leave you feeling drained or burned out, and if that sounds like you, then the idea of having fewer clients is probably rather attractive. So you now might be asking the question, how do I find these higher paying coaching clients? When in fact a more useful question is, why would clients pay you more? People pay for value, and the value is perceived by the client. Whatever the value you think you're providing, the key factor is the value that the client perceives that they are receiving. When someone chooses to work with you, it's because the value they believe they will receive, or have received in the past, in the case of repeat business, is a fair exchange for the price that they're paying. So there are two issues. Are you charging the right price for the value you're delivering? And how can you increase the value that someone gets from your coaching? Neither of these things necessarily imply that you need to deliver more to your clients. What you need to do is increase their perception of the value that you're delivering. So how do you change the client's perception? You focus on the value. To increase your perceived value, you need to talk about the outcome, feeling or insight that you guide your clients towards. And you need to talk about it from their point of view. First, flip your language from I to you. To illustrate this point, take a moment to open your website in a new tab and see how many of your sentences start with I. I'll bet more did than you thought. When you start your sentences with an I, you're generally talking about yourself. What clients really want to read about is themselves, therefore sentences that start with you. This simple switch can make your content feel much more like it's written for them. The second way we can change the perception of value is to articulate your who, your what, and your why. These are the three questions that potential clients are asking when they're considering your coaching. Who do you work with? When you have a specific niche, it's clear to the client that you are best placed to guide them. When they see themselves in your who, they believe you will understand them, their situation and their lived experience and feelings. What outcome, feeling or insight do you guide the client to? In other words, what kind of destination can and will you guide them to? This includes the journey in the sense of what method or process you use in your work. You need to explain this in a way that the client understands and can contextualize. Why can they trust you? If they feel they can't, it's a deal breaker. If they can, it's incredibly valuable. What is it about your experience, training, previous clients that make you a trustworthy guide? And how does a potential client know they can trust you to deliver on your promises? If your marketing is unclear on one or more of these three questions, your potential clients are missing part of that value equation. In that case, they're unlikely to see the higher price as being a fair exchange. However, if they feel like they work with people just like them, they have a clear and easy to understand method for helping them get where they want to be, and they find you trustworthy, then the price they're willing to pay will be higher. Some of you might be thinking, but can't I just put my prices up? In short, yes, you can just hike the price, or you could maybe use charm pricing or another trick to make the client feel like they're getting more value. However, at best, this will give you a short sales spike, quickly followed by the realization that the perceived value wasn't really there, leaving the client with an exchange that didn't feel fair. This also means that the one thing that most coaches rely on for their business, referrals, won't happen. Clients who get the value they expected, or more, will refer you for years to come. Whereas clever pricing tactics, countdown timers can leave people feeling fooled or conned in some way, and then they might do the exact opposite of referring you. So always focus on the potential client. If there's one golden rule to ethically marketing your coaching, it's this: keep the focus on them. Talk about your who, what, and why from the perspective of the person considering your services. When you increase their perception of value, you can increase the price that you charge for it. After all, it's a fair exchange. If you want to get some support finding higher paying coaching clients, we work with coaches on their product, pricing, and value as part of our coaching specific marketing training. Our marketing course is accompanied by bi-weekly check-in sessions where you can ask questions, share your progress, and learn from other coaches on the same journey as you. We also host a community just for coaches where you can collaborate and work on your marketing together. You can try the course and take a look round, watch all the videos, meet some other coaches with our free trial membership, which you'll find on our website, betterbolderbraver.com. If this video has got you thinking, then do hit that like button and consider subscribing for more videos just like this. See you next time.